So I'm in my office. I'm in a good mood, like I said. Now I've got to make a bank deposit. I just came home, and you had signed some checks, and so I put the checks, and I'm going to deposit them. And I go to the bank. Okay, so I walk in the bank, and the first thing I do is I look at the size of the line. Now, if the line's long, I become slightly disappointed because my time is precious. So now just for a second, get into your breath. Now feel like, oh no, it's a long line. What'd your breath do? Yeah, it goes out and that's it. Doesn't come back in, does it? You lose your rhythm. So I've already given up my rhythm for something that is not worth giving up my rhythm for. The line's already long, Now I'm going to give up my happiness because of the long line, right? So Matin has to do with steadiness of rhythm. So here, I'm just going to continue with this metaphor because you can see this is how we run our lives sometimes. Now, once I've seen the line, I get on it. Now I go further because now I want to look at the quality of the line, because depending on the quality of the line, it may go faster or slower. I know if this ever happened to you, but so now I look at the fellow in front of me, and I see he's a mess. Yeah, he hasn't filled out his deposit slip, and I'm together. I'm an important person. I followed. Why didn't So now my judge and critic is showed up. If I were to tell you to follow your breath, and I tell you to feel disappointed on how unskillful he is, same thing would happen. Your breath would stop. You might, if it was pride, it might stop on the in-breath, but either way, it would still stop. You'd lose your rhythm, right? To continue the foolish metaphor, I now survey up to the teller. What's the quality of the teller? Because that's going to affect how which line am I going to get on, or which who do I want to be served by?
Start a line dancing.
Yeah. So this takes a little while, and then every now and then, I think to myself, you fool, you've been basing your happiness on circumstance. Let go. Be at ease. Keep your rhythm. Ya Matin. Be steady. Back into the rhythm of the breath. And then naturally, you can still have discriminating wisdom. Now you see that the causes and conditions of the life of the person in front of you, there's a reason he's a mess. His wife is sick, his child is this, and so now instead of feeling disdain, now I feel compassion. So now I'm standing on line, I'm praying for the guy in front of me. Line's taking about the same amount of time. I see the teller. Maybe the teller isn't that bright, because maybe my discriminating wisdom is correct. They didn't have a good education. They don't have good social skills. They don't have a good sense of balance. But now I feel this person needs my prayer and support. So now Ya Karim is flowing out of my heart. So now I'm having a good time again. The line takes the same amount of time. So Ya Matin has to do with steady rhythm, balance. When Hazrat Inayat Khan teaches us to be conscious of breath throughout all life's conditions, and to keep the breath in rhythm, and he says that our health is just like if our breath was like a clock. If the clock is going too fast, it doesn't keep time well, we won't be in rhythm. If it's too slow, we'll be slow. And he goes on to say, he says, it's the rhythmic breath that makes all your actions in life fruitful, meaningful. And when the breath is out of rhythm, everything you do and say will be out of rhythm.